All right, so I'm here now with Bethany Shadburne, Kari Pearce, two training partners. You guys think back home now in Las Vegas, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so bit of a disappointing last week as your season was just cut short due to positive COVID-19 tests. Kind of curious initially, once you got there, arrived, and found out that you had tested positive for COVID-19, what was that sort of initial reaction like going on inside, and what were you feeling?
Kari, I'll let you go first if you want to.
I was going to let you go first, and you tested positive. Like,
yeah,
start.
that's true.
Then I can piggyback off that. So I'll just go first because obviously Bethany ended up testing positive first. Me and Danielle were like in the car, and then ended up having to get out because we had, obviously heard the news. And then a couple days later, I ended up testing positive, which was Wednesday. So like right before the competition started. Tuesday still went through the activities, like went swimming and kayaking. Then I felt a little off, but I just thought it was stress. I was a little stressed because Bethany, had tested positive. She was super fit, and it was amazing, like where she was at mentally, physically, everything. So I was really excited to see her compete this year at the games because, she was a totally different athlete this year than last. So I was excited for her hard work to pay off. And then, once I found out that she wasn't going to be able to compete, I think it affected me just like stress-wise. I had a headache from it and things. And yeah, like I said, you're super fit. So after I was like, it's just stress. Like people, have heart attacks because of stress. Like people get stressed, crazy things happen.
Right.
So I thought it was just related to stress. And obviously in the back of my mind, I didn't want it to be COVID because, we work really hard all year long to show our fitness at the games. And because of Bethany and Danielle, I was feeling super fit this year. And then just waiting in the car for the test results to come back. And they're 10 minutes. It had been 12 minutes. And I was still just waiting. And then I see someone walk up, and I'm usually they don't walk up to your car. If you are negative, then it just shows up on the app and then
Right.
you leave. So I could see them walking. Katina, who was the medic that was assigned to me and Danielle for the competition. And she came up and had said, my test was positive. So obviously I started to cry, and then they're like, okay, now go back though, because sometimes there's false positives. So go back, get tested again. And within a few minutes, they're like, it looks like it's going to be another positive test. Then I got the positive test, and they told me that I had to leave.
Wow.
Yeah.
So sad. It's so sad when it happens too, because you're like, oh no, someone's walking up to the car, because the same thing obviously happened to me, and I just kind of looked over and I was like, uh-oh, and I was like, I'm Bethany Shadburne. He's like, who's Bethany? I was like, yeah, your test is positive. Okay.
Oh man. Wow. Wow.
So sad. But I want to just jump on this real quick. The only reason I am even close to being super fit is because of Kari and what she's done for me this year. So I was actually going to dedicate this whole year to her. So I'm just super appreciative of what she's done, and a little bit of her greatness has rubbed off on me. So I just try to take advantage of it this year. So I'm still super happy about how this year turned out, even though obviously it wasn't the results that we wanted with the CrossFit Games. But I think just going to the West Coast and being able to show off some fitness there was really cool. And all three of us doing super well and having a good time there. So I'm so happy with
both
it.
you ladies crushed it. All three, for those who aren't aware, Bethany, Kari, and Danielle are all kind of the Las Vegas ladies who absolutely demolished the West Coast Classic. Bethany, you came in first, but only by a few points. Kari, you were in second place, and I know that a lot of fans were really looking forward to seeing Bethany. I know you, especially in the sense that you have struggled with some injuries in the past years, and you looked like you were moving the best you've ever moved, and much more pain-free. And I think you were really excited to give an opportunity to see you on display and going out and competing against these other top female athletes. And I know the fans were very disappointed. I'm sure, obviously it was some disappointment for you to have your season end that way.
Yeah. But we had so much support, honestly. I can speak for probably both of us, and wow, it was just amazing. Everyone was, reaching out to us. So we're just super thankful for all the love and support we got from fans and just friends and family. And I just can't thank everybody enough for just all the support that we actually felt. Because I was like, oh, I do exist in the world. But no, it makes you just like, you're like, wow, like there is so much support in the CrossFit community. So it was really cool to see that side of it, at least.
So I know you guys back home. How are you feeling now? What were some of the side effects, or not side effects? What are some of the effects that you guys experienced while you were there? And how's your body feeling now, and how's everything feeling?
I think both of ours were a little different. I got super sick, like very, very sick. Body aches, body chills, fever for at least 3 days. And I was just like shriveled up in bed in the Airbnb, like, I think I'm going to be okay. I'm not sure right now. I ended up feeling, after 3 or 4 days of that, then I started feeling a little bit better. But I think both of us lost our taste and smell, and trying to enjoy this coffee, but it kind of tastes like dirt right now. So I just have the memories of what it tastes like. And then just feeling so fatigued. Like I was telling you, like 12 hours, I've been waking up at 11:30 noon every day. So this is like early morning for me right now.
It is in fact 11:10 your time.
It's crazy. I'm so tired all the time. So I feel like that's like the last of what's going on for me. It's just no taste and smell, about 80% of it, and then just feeling super tired. And that's about it.
Yeah, I mean, mine was similar, but I don't think not nearly as bad as Bethany. It was 2 days that I had like some body aches and body chills and stuff. And yeah, just like the fatigue. I was like sitting in my room and I was like, oh, maybe I should like take some baths or whatever. And yeah, just like getting the energy to like get up and make bath water was like max effort in itself. I was like, never mind, I'm just gonna lay here. I watched a lot of New Girl since I hadn't before and needed something to do and binge watch. I would watch a couple episodes, sleep, watch a couple more episodes, sleep. Luckily, like my family, they were obviously at the games. So they came and dropped off like some crackers and soup and Pedialyte, things like that, just like at the door. And so luckily, like I had some stuff like that. And yeah, just like sore throat, kind of like weird cough, COVID cough, I guess. And yeah, same, no smell. Like it just started to come back the other day. I was like, oh, I can smell cinnamon. And yeah, taste is kind of there, but still not quite back all the way yet, but it's coming there.
Okay, so you get this initial positive test, effects start happening, you're kind of quarantined to your hotel room. You were watching a little bit of New Girl episodes. Were you able to watch the games? Did you even want to watch the games during the week?
No, I didn't really want to watch the games. I told Justin, I was like, fill me in with how Danielle's doing. That's mainly what I care about. I just want to know how she's doing, obviously, because, we have trained with her getting ready for the games. And it's not like, and I care a lot about the other athletes. Like they're all amazing and incredible and everything. But I didn't want to really think about it or kind of like what was happening. Also, I don't know if I had energy to actually like watch it. And I was like, I'm going to watch something. I'm going to watch New Girl. And so I would look a little bit here and there to see like, how everyone was doing and everything, but I didn't want to watch it. I watched the final event just to see like who ended up winning, but that was it.
What about you, Bethany?
Yeah, I didn't watch it during. I was just so out of it. I was just sleeping the entire time, honestly. I was like, I just can't do anything right now. And then I ended up watching some of it when I got back just to kind of see. I wanted to see some of the workouts and just see what kind of popped up. So it was cool seeing all the workouts. And yeah, the final event was really cool. But yeah, and then of course, like wanting to check in on Danielle too. So I saw some stuff on like Instagram because like, course, there's always things everywhere on Instagram, so you can't get away from it. But yeah, like overall during the quarantine time, I was just like, I just can't right now. It's just too much energy to do anything with my life. And then like kind of being like, oh, it's kind of, it hurts a little bit. You're like, man, you really want to be out there. You're literally 20 miles away and you're just like, it's so close yet so far.
Yeah, I mean, we were getting a lot of questions about your own statuses and et cetera. And we were following Danielle very closely. Not only is she, we love Justin, her coach, your guys' coach, as well as Danielle. And she was having a bit of a challenging time, and she was really having to compete. I don't know how much of that, I'm sure you're aware, but but during the time she was really competing kind of by herself, and would kind of be like cordoned off over here as they were continuing to make sure that she wasn't didn't have COVID. And I think it took a little bit of an emotional toll on her. And we kind of noticed that, and she really fought through that. And I think, for Bethany, or excuse me, for Danielle, I think that was a really high watermark in her competitive career, is fighting through that. Have you guys talked to her at all about her experience competing yet since you guys have come back?
Yeah, so when we were there, she reached out to us a couple times, of course, like via text message. She's like, "Hey guys," and kind of said that to us. She said that she was having a little bit of a hard time with it, and it was really tough. And so we just tried to give her some encouragement as much as possible. And I told her, "Hey, like, you're on the floor for a reason. You're getting this opportunity for a reason. So go out there and shine. Like, you put in all the hard work this year, so go out there and show them what you have," because she's obviously very talented, as y'all guys can tell. Everyone can tell that she's super, super talented. So I know she was feeling, super sad that we weren't there with her, and almost like undeserving. And I was like, look, life's that way though. Like, life is sometimes fair and sometimes it isn't. And it doesn't matter about that stuff. What's happening is you're getting this opportunity to be on the floor and compete all 5 days. And this is her first really true CrossFit Games, if you think about it, because first year that she came, like, she didn't get to have the opportunity because of the drug testing, right? And then, last year it was online. So it's just like 6 events, and then, it's just with us 3. So this is like her first full like CrossFit Games experience. And maybe it wasn't the experience that she thought she was going to have, but she got to compete. So that's just a cool experience in itself. And you learn a lot about yourself as an athlete having to compete 4 or 5 days in a row. So it's tough. It's tough mentally. And go for it.
You're both very seasoned Games athletes who spent a lot of time on the competition floor, and I think 2021 was sort of a little bit more of a return to normalcy from a competitive standpoint, back to the field of 40. Kari, I know you've seen the gamut of games from all the way from Carson to Madison to Romas, back to Madison, and I know the fans sort of appreciated a little bit more of a return to that element where we could see the best, fittest 40 athletes on display going head to head. And, we're just kind of waiting for one more year when it'll finally be sort of more of a normal Games-like environment where we have a regular system where all the competitions are in person for semifinals and no more online events. And then we can have the Games in a full Games experience where everybody can get to come and to travel to it as well. I know spectators, there was far fewer than there was in 17 or 18. And I think a lot of that was probably due to COVID, related to COVID concerns or just travel concerns in general. I'm curious, now that we're in the off season, what some of your off season plans might look like.
Right now, just resting up a little bit. Obviously recovering from COVID and everything. Personally, I haven't thought like too much about it. It's more just like set on getting well, and I've moved a little bit, because we've had basically 3 weeks off now, because the week before the Games is super light, and then the week of the Games, we were planning on doing the Games, and then the week after was still like, okay, I need a little bit more downtime just for recovering and everything. So off season, take a little more time, just have some fun with it, do some bodybuilding kind of stuff, maybe some heavy breathing, but take some time away from CrossFit, just to let our bodies recover after all the hard work throughout the year and preparing for the Games. And I don't know, me personally, I need to sit down and figure out what is next. So I need to have some time to myself and figure that out, because I'm still not quite sure yet. So we'll see.
Fair enough. All right. Now, Bethany, I saw you've been returning to working out a little bit. You were in your kitchen, if I'm not mistaken.
Doing
bicep, doing a little chest pump day in the kitchen. I was looking at the video. I was like, yeah, that's
how
the
did
kitchen.
She fit all this stuff in
there? That's, hey, you know what? CrossFit is functional in any room.
That's right.
Regardless.
Yeah.
So, how's the return been to? I know you just posted very recently about returning. Did your first workout? I think you were running a little bit. You're doing a little bodybuilding. How's your body reacting to that and so far?
It's been fine. I feel a little bit of like the lung thing. Me and Kari were kind of talking about it yesterday, but I'm like, okay, breathing through a straw a little bit, okay. But I don't know. I can't
That
tell if
Fran,
it's
that
just
kind of like that
because
Fran cough.
a little bit. I'm like, oh, even I did some biker intervals this morning, not even hard, but I always try to like nasal breathe. And man, I was like, oh gosh, here we go. But and then I don't know, I just feel like I got really, really sore. I was doing like a kettlebell with 35 pounds, just like RDLs, and I woke up the next day and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sore. It's kind of a good feeling though. I was like, wow, this is good. My glutes are sore. So I just feel like my body's like, whoa, what are we doing here? But I just feel like Kari said, it's been like 3 weeks now. And, like the week before the games, we worked out, but it was just to kind of move because at that point, you're not going to lose or gain anything.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah, it's been a while. So I was like, okay, it's time to work out. It's time to move a little bit. But same as her, like I'm gonna take off like CrossFit workouts. I think just mentally, it's good to do that. I mean, we were gonna take off this month anyways, so
Right.
I mean, it doesn't really change our plans, honestly. But yeah, we're gonna get into some bodybuilding stuff, some tempo work probably,
Nice.
and just
Some
try to
power
take it
abs,
nice and
perhaps?
easy. Maybe some power abs. Gotta get my abs
Okay.
back for, like Kari.
Let's
But
go.
yeah, just try to take it easy. But we
Yeah.
can't help but move because obviously this is what we do for a living. So
Clearly.
we enjoy actually working out, kind of, sort of ish. But no, we enjoy working out and moving. So I mean, we'll try to do some like outdoorsy stuff. We got hiking that's like 20 minutes away. We got Red Rock
Rocks?
here, and we got our paddle boards, so might as well use them, even though they didn't even have it this year, of course. That's just how
Right.
Dave Castro works. I was like, of course, we buy the paddle boards and then it's
Right.
a kayak.
Yes.
So, but might as well use it. And
Might be worth investing in a kayak.
yeah,
perhaps.
yeah. I know. I was like, what else do we need to get? Jeez. Oh. But
Just
maybe
all
we'll
the
go
things.
bike Red Rock again, like we did before the CrossFit Games.
Well, next time I'm
No?
out there, we can go rock climbing. That's functional.
It is.
Yeah.
Great
Build
for
up
arm
There's so many
platforms.
cool things. There's a lot
Yeah.
of cool things to do, like outdoorsy, like outside of the gym. So might as well take advantage of it now.
Absolutely. So, okay, we got a few months until the Open, obviously, and more than enough time for. And the Open has changed its kind of trajectory a little bit because it now there's a
Again?
little bit less. Well, nothing new is happening. Nothing new is happening.
I was like, oh
But
no.
now that it's only 3 weeks instead of 5 weeks, and that there's a quarterfinal phase, and you only need to be top 10% in order to move on. I'm curious, now that you've gone through that system, how do you feel about that and the way that the Open has gone from 5 to 3, and that you also only need to place in the top 10% to go to quarterfinals? Do you guys like that? You've done pretty much every Open that's out there, and there's been some weird ones. So, what's your opinion?
Well, I mean, when it comes to that, it's just there's more emphasis on quarterfinals. So I feel like obviously we're going to do our best through the Open, but it's more quarterfinals and then making it to semis, which is more of the emphasis. So we'll train through the Open. I mean, in the past, Justin has always had me train through the Open anyways. Like, okay, this is a workout. If I end up like making a big mistake or something, then he'll have me redo it, which is very rare. So yeah, still just focus on cruising through the Open, continuing to train, and then focus more emphasis on quarterfinals. Because I don't want to be too cocky, but even quarterfinals, like I feel like we can make it to semis, placing some emphasis on it, but not planning to peak then.
Right.
Yeah, I'm interested to see if they change anything this year with that. If they add another piece, like, are we going to have another online piece? But because I still feel like, we still want to do our best with each part. And even though we're like training through maybe the first 2 parts, it still takes a toll on your body. And
Right.
I remember after quarterfinals, I was like, Kari, I'm tired. Like, I need a break. And then, we had actually a good amount of time between quarters and semis because we were the last week of semis. And then it was actually kind of interesting because, between semis and the CrossFit Games, we had like 3 weeks to get ready. So it's actually kind of nice. It was like, wow, we only have to train really hard for about 3 weeks. And then it's here. All the hard work should be done at this point. So we did a lot of training between like quarters and semis. So I don't know. I'm just interested to see if they keep it the same. I feel like they're just going to keep tweaking it just a little bit until they find something that's like, okay, yes, we like this. So
I hope so. I mean, I remember the regional system. It was kind of each year, you know, they might add a regional, they might change the number of qualifying athletes in one regional, and then they finally got into these super regionals time frame. And you're like, okay, micro changes each year. The rule book is mostly the same, but there's some elements to it. And they got into this groove and this continuity. And I think that the continuity is really what anybody working in CrossFit, whether you're like media or an athlete or a coach or working in the sport of CrossFit, continuity, I think, is something that a lot of people have been asking for the last couple of years, because the dynamic is just changes all the time, where you don't really know what to expect as an athlete. And you're like, not really sure what's going to happen. Now, obviously, COVID is a thing, and that has caused like either a backlog in certain issues or forced to go online. And so it takes longer to get those results out. And there's problems with the logistics on that element. So I think everyone's really willing to be very flexible, and they've learned to be very flexible over the last couple of seasons. But it's sort of resounding opinion, I'm curious if you agree with this, is that continuity is something that athletes would really appreciate going forward.
Yeah, 100%. We need, I don't know, it's just like, but that's part of the sport though, in the same way, like, we don't know what we're doing. Like, it's pretty, like, that's just normal stuff, right? At the end of the day. And then, like, you go to the CrossFit Games, it's the same thing. You don't know what we're doing. You have, like,
you don't know what
an
time
idea
the
of a
event
couple
is
workouts,
either.
but we don't know because people always ask, I'm sure Kari gets this too, but, like, it's like the week before the CrossFit Games, and people are like, okay, so what's the schedule? When are you going to be there? Like, when are you competing? And I'm like, I don't know. Could be Thursday, could be Wednesday or Friday. I'm not sure.
We
8
could
a.m.
get a phone
could be
call and
11
say we're
a.m.
starting
I'm
on
not sure.
Tuesday. You're like, okay, well, that could be a thing. That's always sort of in that unknown factor, which I think adds to the suspense of that, right? As an athlete, you're like stay on your toes. You're like always on high alert. You're like, oh, we might be competing in 30 minutes. We don't know.
I'm not sure.
Not sure.
It's actually kind of fun in 2019 because we didn't know any of the workouts. So I actually preferred that a lot more than knowing like one or two or half of them, because you start overanalyzing and overthinking some of them, and you're like, I don't want to know. So it's kind of nice. Like, you just showed up. Okay, we have an athlete briefing. All right, 30 minutes. Y'all guys are going on the floor, and you're like, all right, let's do this. Like, that is CrossFit to the T right there. So, but like overall with the whole season, it'd be nice to have maybe a little bit more communication of what's going on, even just to the athletes. Because we find out most things through Instagram. And so it's like my mom knows before I do. And she texts me like, hey, do you know that you're doing this? Yeah. No, she does. She's like, tell them that I love Morty Chalk Up. I listen to it all the time and I read it. But yeah, I feel like everyone knows before the athletes know. So we're just like, oh, thanks for telling us. Like, we don't know what's going on. Might be nice to know.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, ladies. So I've already taken up 25 minutes of your day. I know you got a lot of stuff going on. I'm going to leave it there. Best of luck in the offseason. Yeah, it's like, I don't know anything going on. Well, we want to get you back into a speedy recovery. And thanks so much for joining, for talking about your games experience. I know it was very unfortunate end to how that played out. But very confident that you guys will be returning next year to the CrossFit Games. Kari, hopefully you'll let us know when you've made a decision in that regard. But best of luck. Can't wait to see you on the competition floor again. I'm sure I'll catch up with you guys in the next couple of months sometime soon. So thanks again.
Sounds good.